for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in the perfect spots. Puzzle hearts, we're in this together. Feeling it piece by piece. Our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in their perfect spots. Adrenaline rush, hearts pounding loud. Every second counts, we gotta wow the crowd. Fingers flying, hands on fire. We're the kings and queens of this puzzling empire. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together. Filling in the pieces, bringing joy forever. Puzzled hearts will solve the mystery. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in a perfect spot. Adrenaline rush, hearts pounding loud. Every second counts, we gotta wow the crowd. Fingers flying, hands on fire, hands on fire. We're the kings and queens of this puzzling empire. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together. Filling in the pieces, bringing joy forever. Puzzled hearts will solve the mystery. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in the perfect spots. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together. Feeling it piece by piece. Our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in their perfect spots. Adrenaline rush, hearts pounding loud. Every second counts, we gotta wow the crowd. Fingers flying, hands on fire. We're the kings and queens of this puzzling empire. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together. Filling in the pieces, bringing joy forever. Puzzled hearts will solve the mystery. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in a perfect spot. Adrenaline rush, hearts pounding loud. is real. Piece by piece, our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in the perfect spots. Puzzle hearts, we're in this together. Feeling it piece by piece. Our love for puzzles is real. Piece by piece, we compete. Jigsaw puzzle on repeat. Speed is key, gotta move fast. Put those pieces in their perfect spots. Adrenaline rush, hearts pounding loud. Every second counts, we gotta wow the crowd. Fingers flying, hands on fire. We're the kings and queens of this puzzling empire. Puzzled hearts, we're in this together. Filling in the pieces, bringing joy forever. Puzzled hearts will solve the mystery, piece by
All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our competition this Sunday evening. Lovely to see everybody here, and greetings to my co-hosts, Catherine and Hannah.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, and greetings to our viewers who are joining us on YouTube. Yeah, so it's still very fresh in our mind about the World Series and what a wonderful event it was, regardless of you were, or especially if you were participating, but also for the viewers back home. And we also just wanted to take the opportunity to chat a little bit about that, reflect on the World Series in Munich that just took place last weekend and what it meant for the speed puzzling world, and yeah, just seeing how the different competitions and the different challenges within that competition, how people felt about that. So yeah, so that's the theme for today. So I'd love to start with Catherine, who was there. Yeah, tell us, what was your favorite challenge and then your least favorite challenge?
I don't have really a favorite challenge. I have two favorite challenges. The first one was the detail challenge, because that puzzle completely surprised me. I thought it would be way more, I don't know, like an illustration or like a busy, like cute kawaii type puzzle. And then the vegetables came out and I was like, oh my God, switch what I was thinking in my brain and like focus on the vegetables. And I loved doing them. They were so much fun. They were really easy to like pick out which vegetable was which. And so yeah, that I really enjoyed doing that puzzle because I was just doing something all the time. And then secondly, my other favorite puzzle was the mystery puzzle. Main reason just because it was a complete mystery. I like getting surprised like that and not knowing what it is that I'm building, and like I like the process that goes on in my brain when I'm like putting something together and I realize, oh, this is probably a pond. Oh, this might be is it a house? Oh yeah, it's a house. So it wasn't my fastest puzzle, but I really, really enjoyed that one. And then I think the least favorite is probably the one that everyone has as the least favorite, which is the panoramic puzzle. Not so much because of the image. I actually like the image. I thought it was fun, you know, like a wink to the Oktoberfest in Munich. And it's a nice, you know, thing to take home after the competition. But doing it on the day and like as the last puzzle of the day and just the fact that it was bigger than a 500-piece puzzle. I think I got demoralized while I was doing it, and I kind of gave up halfway through, and I decided to just casual puzzle the rest. And yeah, that way I was still able to put in some pieces. But yeah, so those are my takeaways.
Yeah, no, that's fascinating. And it's also interesting. So a lot of, we also asked the question to our participants. So many also reflected that. So I think the, yeah, mystery, oh yeah, gradient was also quite popular, but a lot of people really enjoyed the mystery puzzle. And yes, by far, the panorama was the least favorite. But yeah, Hannah, you weren't there, but you were viewing, or yeah, tell us your thoughts.
Yeah, so I was not in attendance, but I do live stream on Twitch. So I did a watch party on Twitch. I live on the East Coast, so I got up at 3:30 in the morning on Friday and Saturday and set up my camera and did my best to stay awake and watched 5 of the 6 challenges. I had to go to work on Friday, so I missed the 3rd challenge. But I really enjoyed, I think the mystery puzzle was probably my favorite to watch because as a viewer, I didn't know what the image would be either. And it was fun to have the commentators not know either. And so to hear their thoughts as the puzzles went together, and you could start to see different people started on different things. So some people had like a pond and some people were doing the sky or the house. And when Fuji found out that there were capybaras in the puzzle, I think that was probably a very funny like time as a viewer. She was very excited. And I don't have a least favorite as someone who didn't participate, but I could tell that everybody was really struggling through the panoramic at the end, just because I think it can be tricky to do a puzzle like or an event like the World Series where you want everyone to have a good time and it's still a competition and you're trying to introduce different kinds of puzzles, but to put the longest puzzle and a puzzle that ended up being very difficult, I don't think the organizers had a time to do the puzzle beforehand. So I don't think they realized quite how difficult it would be. And so it's hard, I think, to end on maybe the majority of the people in the room not finishing the puzzle. But I do think it's a beautiful image, and I saw a lot of pictures afterwards of people like flying home and seeing the cookies in the airport. So that was very funny.
Yeah. Yeah, so regarding the panoramic one, yeah, I think it's really nice that it was a Munich themed image. Like as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, there's got to be something, like a nice souvenir to take home. But yeah, I guess that's just one of the logistical things that might be considered differently next year, especially with the feedback from everyone. But yeah, very exciting to see all the different challenges. And yeah, so from my perspective, I watched the live stream, live on the Friday, but I didn't catch them on the Saturday. But actually the mystery puzzle I found very interesting. I didn't actually watch it though. I was listening to the commentary a couple of days later while I was doing a puzzle. And what I found really interesting was that the commentators also just got a bag of pieces and they were kind of trying to figure it out. I think it was really funny how like Fuji was looking through there and trying to say, oh, it's got a grey backing. Okay, well, it can't be that brand. It can't be that brand. Oh, the piece cut. Well, I don't recognize the piece cut. So yeah, I'm not really sure how it works as an in-person event to do mystery puzzles, because I heard, some people said they might, look at their neighbors and see what's happening, or maybe if you're sitting close to the commentary desk, maybe you pick up some hints. But definitely it was just a new concept, and I'm really glad that they gave it a go. But anyway, we'll find out a bit more throughout the commentary as we introduce people. We can read some of the comments that they mentioned, and if you're a viewer, feel free to add your 2 cents to the chat as well. So we are now ready to unwrap our puzzle. So everyone, you may unwrap your puzzle and remove any plastic foil or stickers that may be on there. Okay, so Jim is saying something different. He's saying that maybe his least favorite was the gradient. Okay. give us more details.
Interesting. I feel like a lot of people liked the gradient the most, or maybe not the most, but it was one of their favorites.
Yeah, I think in general people enjoyed the gradient one. Okay, so there should be, yes, there were stickers on this one, 2 big stickers, so make sure you cut those and that your box lid is will come off easily. There is a piece of paper in the box, but that's just a catalogue. You can have a look at that later. That's not a poster. Okay. So everyone should be registered on the Timer website. We've got 90 participants who are registered. Okay, and we are at 7 o'clock. Okay, looks like we are ready to go. So yes, and just remember, if you're participating in the teams competition, you want to save your wrapping paper, because one of the non-speed awards is for creative use of wrapping paper. There is no wrapping paper inside the box for the teams competition, so you will need to save up your papers from then. So yes, don't destroy it. Okay, let's do a countdown in 5, 4, 3. Oh, hang on, stop. What happened?
Yeah, I was just gonna say the Timer website is not counting down.
Okay, just a sec. It should say 2 hours. Okay. Yes, it should say 2 hours now. I think I just forgot to add the 2 hours. Okay, let's see. Let me try one more time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Puzzle!
Good
Let's
luck.
go.
And they're
Oh.
off.
Okay, I'm going to hand the commentary over to Catherine and Hannah, and I will show the puzzle on screen. Okay.
Yes, let's have a look at the puzzle of today. So the brand of today is Haie, which is the German brand, and it's an image by Marino Degano. He does a lot of images for Haie. This one's from the same series as one of the previous EJJs we already had, the one with the like cute little animals and the flowers. You might recognize the background because that one is like very similar. So we see a bunch of like a ragtag gang of people just on bikes or on roller skates, there's like a wiener dog on a skateboard. There's a little, there's like frogs, there's like all kinds of things. So everyone is like in this race. It's like Born to Bike is the theme. There's a little ET going in front of the moon. There's a big bike kind of in the background, and then a bunch of like smaller bikes and people on bikes and people on the bike, and everyone is doing something different. So this might be an interesting one, as this, I would say, would qualify as a busy puzzle. What do you think, Hannah?
Absolutely. Definitely a busy image. I'm interested to see if anybody breaks it up by the background, because while there's a lot going on with the characters who are bicycling and moving around and things like that, there is like a very distinct sky and a very distinct road and a very distinct body of water in the background. So you might be able to sort of, maybe some folks will want to sort that early, or some people might just pick and place the whole thing, but it is quite busy. This is sort of what I expected from the World Series busy round, more so than the vegetables that came out, was something like this.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it would be something where you pick up a piece and you would kind of look at the piece and like have to know where to place it. Whereas the one that we had at the World Series, you could look at the piece and know which vegetable it is, but then you still have to like assemble the vegetable. So, okay, let's see who are our competitors today. We have Aaron from the United Kingdom, Abigail, also from the United Kingdom, Aidan from Switzerland, Eileen from Germany, Alexandra from Switzerland, and Anna from Slovenia.
All right. It's pretty early still, so everyone's still flipping. We're about 2.5 minutes in now. Probably expect most people to finish flipping around the 3.5 to 5 minute mark. This is a solo puzzle open to everybody. So it's not just the sub 50 club or the 50 plus club. We've got folks of all different puzzling speeds in here today. So we'll see how long it takes to get everything flipped. And then we'll see how people start assembling, whether the pick and place or dead reckoning method is used, or if they're going to try and sort or maybe pull colors. This might be a puzzle where you could like pick a certain color and start pulling that.
Yeah, there's certain things on this puzzle that you can pull out like quite easily. Like, for example, this like Born to Bike flag at the top, or the moon. There's like a gradient in the sky, which is relatively easy to pick out. And also there's like a mountain in the background that has a very distinct color that you should be able to like recognize relatively easy, and then everything else is like bikes. So it depends on like how good you are at doing bikes. Maybe the Dutchies have a little advantage with the bike placing. Okay, we have switched up the screens already, and we have Anne from the Netherlands, Annemie from Switzerland, Annika from Denmark, Aurélie from Germany, Bernhard from Switzerland, and Beth from the United Kingdom.
Now, Catherine, you have this puzzle. Have you done it already?
I have done it, and I tried. I'm a person. I always like to pick out things with color, and then I try to build it. And then later I realized, like, I could have looked at the background. So my strategy was all over the place with this one. So I don't have any tips for the people at home, other than, you know, this might be a good one to do the border first, because then you can attach the things that go to on the border. But other than that, you know, it's really like anyone's preference.
And I think that's how some people are building. You can start to see up in the upper left-hand corner. My screen is too small to see who that is, but someone has already started to build the border, I believe, of the road.
Yeah, and I also see the flag already built there.
So that might be a good starting point, just to give you something to do, so you don't have to bounce around with a busy image like this. I do feel like you can get a little in your head and get so overwhelmed at the image that it's difficult to pick something to start with. So just having, okay, I'm going to do the edge first, gives you like a clear objective, and then it gives you time to get your thoughts in order to make a decision about what your next step is going to be.
Yeah, and it also can give you kind of an idea of how big is this lake section, how big is the road section, just to know like kind of how many puzzle rows that'll be, and that'll make it easier later to you know, organize yourself and think like, what do you want to do next? Yeah, so we're seeing borders going in. We're seeing people putting, you know, this section at the top with the moon is pretty distinct as well, because those are like the only like white like pieces with like strong white on them. So they might be a target for people in the beginning as well.
Yeah, I do think trying to find some high contrast stuff, especially because you said that the sky is a gradient. So Catherine has this puzzle. I do not. So I am relying on my memory, which is mediocre at the best of times. So I will try to remember and look at different folks' screens to see what this image is. But having a gradient would be a nice thing to start with, at least. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, I think the gradient sky, the moon, is definitely pretty distinct from everything else. It's the only thing that's white. There's not a ton of yellow. That born to bike sign might be something that you can start. And once you get like some of the larger things in place, like you said, Catherine, you can start sort of building off of that, whether it's the border, whether it's some of these other larger things. The bridge might be something that you could build. There's not stone anywhere else.
Yeah.
As someone, yeah, the bike could be tricky.
What is a little bit different in the actual puzzle is that at the bottom and at the top, there's these, I have my thing blurred, but there's these like lines on it, so you can't actually see the whole image. So the bottom part where there's the guy with the bike in the pond or whatever it is, and people with a picnic blanket is a little bit obscured by what is actually on the puzzle box. Let's see, we also have with us tonight Karine from the Netherlands, Caroline from Switzerland, Kat from the United States, Christina from Germany, Daniela from Portugal, and David from Slovenia.
I wonder if do we know how many of the folks who are here participated in the World Series versus those who didn't? Because I believe this is the first EJJ since the World Series, or at least the first live one anyways.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I can recognize a bunch of the names of the people that were at Worlds. We also have the World Series, we also have the reigning World Series champion today puzzling with us. So we're excited to see how he will be doing tonight. Yeah, and then, you know, Aaron was there from the people that we've already seen. Kat was there. I don't know, like, just after you're done, you can let us know in the chat if you were at the World Series or not.
Yes, please do. I spoke to somebody yesterday. It was the New York State Championships in the United States. And I spoke to somebody who went to the World Series, and she said she doesn't want to look at another puzzle for a long time. So I think some people got back and are tired and want to take a break. So I'm very impressed by the folks who just got back and are still ready to go, still ready to race again.
Yeah, it's only been a week actually. Today, well, I mean, a week and a day, I guess, because Sunday was it was already over Sunday. But it was a pretty intense 2 days, but also not so intense. I feel like that you actually needed to recover like a whole week because it was kind of condensed in the middle of the day, and it wasn't like something that dragged on like the whole day, like we have at the actual worlds, for example. So in that sense, I feel like people had a lot of time to kind of decompress and like just hang out in the evening and relax and have fun.
That's good. That's great. I'm glad folks had a good time. I was a little interested to see how people would handle the very condensed schedule because it's so different from most of the other puzzle competitions, which can take the entire day, especially if you're doing multiple events. And while this one was a lot of multiple events, it was in a very condensed time period. So it did give you time to go back to your room and rest or hang out with friends afterwards. There was time throughout the day to sort of relax. So that was a nice addition for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciated it a lot also that it was so close in the vicinity of hotels. You could even go to the hotel in between rounds if you needed some like quiet time or whatever, or needed to wash your hands or something. Okay, so joining us as well, we have Dietmar from Germany, Eric from the Netherlands, Evely from Estonia, Fiona from the United Kingdom, Freya from Sweden, and Freya from Denmark.
Yeah, so the main starting point for this puzzle definitely seems to be edge first. You can see that Eric in the top middle row has done most of the moon with just a little empty spot for where ET is going to go. And it looks like a couple of other folks have sort of tackled that moon first as well. So definitely do the edge first, and then we'll start to see how the strategies play out for how everyone tackles the rest of the puzzle.
Yeah, those pieces really do stand out because, like we already said before, they really are like this really shiny kind of white. And then for me, what always stands out are the like yellows. And then I think I did like I go always by color. I think I did yellows and then greens and then red because I was intimidated of this big red bike in the middle, so I kept it for last.
The bike would scare me, I think, too. It looks like it might be easy to pull, but I don't think it would be smart to try and do it right away. But maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe we'll have somebody finish it first. And then before we get too far into it, do you have any guesses for how long you think this puzzle is going to take? Or anybody in the chat want to drop their guesses in to see how long this might be?
Yeah, I'll abstain from now because I can pretty much know that whatever my time is, I divide that in two, and that's probably going to be the winning time because I always need double the amount of time that like someone like Victor needs.
That's
so
fair.
I'll tell you my time later.
I think, especially since knowing that we have Victor here competing, I think the winning time could be a sub 30. I think it's busy, but I think it's distinct enough that you might be able to do it relatively quickly. Well, it could be a little tricky. I'm going to guess 30, 50.
Yeah, I think that's a good guess, I think. Let's have a look at our competitors. We see some different strategies emerging already. So we also have Heike from Switzerland, Helen from the United Kingdom, Idun from Norway, Inga from Lithuania, Inge from the Netherlands, and I think is it Isa from Canada? Yeah.
Yes, Isa from Canada / the United States. Competed as a Canadian at the World Series, but lives in the US and was also at US Nationals recently. And I believe is live streaming this contest on Twitch too. So Radical Puzzler TTV is their handle.
She's usually live streaming or most of her puzzles, or a lot of the time at least. We had her once as an interviewee, and she was telling us about her busy Twitch schedule.
Yeah, Issa uses they them pronouns, but they've been doing a
Oh,
really good
sorry.
job. That's all right. Yeah. They've been really improving and had a really good nationals. Yeah, we can see Inga starting with the sky, getting that moon in again with a hole for ET. The words are
Mhm.
done. I think that gradient is really helping some folks along. It's probably those are probably the only pieces that don't have other things in them to make it messy and confusing. So definitely something that you could pick out easily. I also love what Alona is doing up in the top left or top right corner. I love a full sort. I wish more puzzlers would do it. And I think for this one, it could be really helpful. I'd be so interested to see what the sort is. If you're pulling pieces of certain colors, or if you're pulling pieces that might have certain things on it. So maybe the moon, maybe the words, maybe yellows or reds, whatever that might look like. So a very
Yeah,
cool, yeah.
I find sorts always super satisfying because you can kind of put everything into the different sorts and then just like go and build. But you need to be
Mhm.
patient enough to do the sorts, which I am not. But
Absolutely.
I always hope for someone who loves to sort in my team if I'm puzzling in a team.
That tends to be my job if I'm in a team because I'm not necessarily the fastest builder, so I'll usually defer to my other teammates. But I like to sort, so I like to have little projects that I can hand off to my teammates, which is a big help. I think if there's four people trying to puzzle one puzzle, not everybody can always be building at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
Ooh,
We have
Michelle has just
some. Yeah, go ahead. I was also just gonna say the dimensions of the time.
yeah, Michelle in the chat just dropped that the fastest time on my speed puzzling is Teresa, who did this in 42 minutes and 5 seconds, which is making me a little nervous about my guess, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, leave it up to Victor to surprise you. Like
Mhm.
we'll see what happens today.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, so we also have with us Jana from Slovakia, Janine from Germany, Jana from Norway, Jata from Finland, Julia from the Netherlands, and yes, did I have everything? Oh, and Jasmine. I don't have you in my list, but Jasmine's also there.
So we just crossed the 16-minute mark. Borders seem to be mostly done or getting put in place for a lot of people. I'm also just noticing Yana's puzzle sweater, and I'm obsessed with it. That's incredibly cool. I wonder if it's handmade. Um, yeah, most people doing the border still. And that sky seems to be a popular first place for folks to go, getting those words done and the moon and the sky filled in around it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the next target will be for most people because as far as we have seen, a lot of people have actually started with the sky,
Mhm.
and then what, and then
And
what?
then and then what indeed? That's the question. I think we might just have a little bit of chaos puzzling here. It can be hard with busy to sort anything or to do anything with structure. It's not like the vegetable puzzle at the World Series, right? Where it's like, okay, I will pull whatever this vegetable is and whatever this fruit is and greens and yellows and it has a very clear sort of order. There were some folks, the opening question for today was, your favorite and least favorite puzzle from the World Series. And there were some folks who put the detailed image because I think it was Isa specifically. They said that it was the most straightforward. And so it
Mhm.
was something that makes a lot of sense, I think, to people's brains. It's like, okay, I know how to approach this. Busy puzzles, I feel like, can sometimes throw puzzlers off because it's like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Like, how do I sort of keep track of everything that's going on? And I think you can see Yata or Jata in the bottom left is doing what looks like a pick and place sort of dead reckoning where she's getting a piece, she's looking at the box, and she's putting it exactly where it goes in the puzzle. And so it looks a little chaotic now, but it's going to start to coming together as the time goes on. So if we check back in and say 20 minutes, I think that puzzle is going to look a lot more like the image that we would expect to see. Jan
Yeah,
did knit her own sweater.
yeah, that's amazing. I crocheted like a puzzle top, and it took me so long to do it, and I don't really know how to knit. And this one, I mean, it just looks amazing. Oh, and it has like buttons in the front. I love it.
It has buttons and long sleeves. There's a popular knitting pattern going around in the United States, and I think it's probably made its way to other countries now, where it's like a puzzle piece tank top that I see a lot at like national competitions now. But I have never seen somebody knit an entire what looks like a cardigan with sleeves and buttons. That is so impressive.
Yeah. Please,
Handle.
Jana, drop us the like pattern for that, because I'm sure like other people want to try.
Yes. The Knitting Puzzler, the.knitting.puzzler on, I believe that's Instagram,
Yeah.
if folks want to follow and see.
Okay, and now we can see Karen from the United States, Katharina from Austria, Kristen from Norway, Letizia from France, Larissa from Germany, and who's that in the middle? Letizia from France, yes, and Larissa from Germany. Did I miss someone? Oh, Linda. I forgot Linda. Sorry, Linda.
And Larissa seems to be puzzling in an owl onesie or an owl hoodie, which is also iconic. And I would love to find the link so I can buy one and start puzzling with it.
I wonder if it's a onesie or just like a hoodie with like an owl hood.
I know, I can't tell, but it's incredibly cute. I didn't know owls could puzzle, but apparently owls are speed puzzling now, and who knows who will see it now? Who knows who will see at Worlds next year?
Wow. Who indeed?
Who indeed. And speaking of who, Kristen is also here. So I know we've been talking about Victor, but I think we could expect to see maybe a showdown between Victor and Kristen for sure. I do not have the list of everybody who's here in front of me, so I'm sure there are a number of fast puzzlers who we might see in contention for this. But Kristen is definitely doing that pick and place. She's got the border done first. She's done the sky, and you can sort of see the tops of some of the people who are riding their bikes who maybe also have some sky in there. So those pieces are easy to pull. You can just pick up something that has sky in it, and because of the gradient, figure out approximately where it belongs. And now she's pulling, I think, very small sections. Like if there are maybe 3 or 4 pieces that have, say, a hat or a little skirt or a shirt that are distinct enough, she's pulling those and placing them in the puzzle exactly where they belong. Oh, and we've got Victor side by side, which is very nice. Victor is doing a very similar thing too. Incredibly, he does not have all of the sky done. He's got a few empty pieces in there. He's doing a little bit more of a chaotic, I think, pick and place. I think Kristen seemed to maybe do a little bit more of a, I'm going to do the sky first, and then I will go pick and place Dead Reckoning mode. Victor, I think, is just going a little bit everywhere. He's built some things, sort of the same things that Kristen has done, where if there are 3 or 4 pieces that have the same color or texture, he's pulled those. But it's a little bit more scattered than Kristen's puzzle right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of incredible to see how far along he actually was, because it seemed like half of the pieces were already like in the puzzle, even if they were not connected. But as soon as these connections take shape, it'll just, all come together.
Victor is notorious for keeping puzzle pieces on top of his puzzle. So
well, you can't do that with Dead Reckoning like this.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot.
Let's have a look at some more strategies. We have Laura from the United Kingdom. Then we have Laura from Germany. We have Lenka from Slovakia, Linda from Norway, Lynn from Belgium, and Magdalene from Austria. Oh, sorry, it's Lynn from the United Kingdom, not Lynn from Belgium.
All
sorry, both Lynns are here.
Both Lynns are here.
Linda was on the screen before. Okay, so we have Lynn from Belgium in the bottom left, and then Lynn from the United Kingdom in the bottom middle.
Incredible from Laura in the middle, upper middle, who seems to be puzzling on a puzzle board, maybe on like a bed or a couch. The space management that you have to do to try and do a puzzle like this, especially a vertical one, I'm so impressed. That is such an extra challenge to give yourself to really, to not just put tape on a table, right? To sort of see an idea of like how small your space would be, but to physically limit yourself by a board.
Yeah, it's like taking it like to the next level. And then when we see Lenka's approach here, she has finished all of this like street area and has not really finished the sky yet. So that's for once like a different approach to the whole thing. So she kind of started at the bottom and now filling in the rest.
So that background really is coming into play, although it seems to be different for different people. So whether it's Lenka who's tackling the road first, or it seems like the popular pick was to try and do the sky. I think the gradient probably helped a lot of folks out with that. But it's definitely with a puzzle as busy as this, any extra like detail or part of the image that you can use to help yourself like gain a little bit more of an understanding of what goes where, I think is going to be huge. And so seeing them being built in sections like that is, I think, validating that sort of assumption of how to do this puzzle.
Yeah. Let's have a look at how these folks are doing. So we have Maike from Germany, Maya from Slovenia, Mari from the United States, Maria from Finland, Maria from Slovakia, and Maria from Sweden.
Mari might be the first person who has tried to tackle that bike in earnest. I still see a little bit of a pick and place strategy. She's done the sky and she's actually got ET in the moon, which she might be one of the only people who has that too. I believe Maria in the bottom left also does. But she has pulled quite a bit of that bike and has most of that built as well. That sort of secondary strip underneath the sky where you have water backgrounds is where the majority of that orange-red bike is. And so she's done a lot of building with that too, which would intimidate me. I think I would also probably try and leave that to last.
Yeah, I wonder if her strategy was to go from top to bottom and just kind of continue down that path, because it really looks like she has pulled all of the pieces with the water in the background. And you can see those really easily as well, because it is a different color than the sky. And you have this boat in the background, like a super long boat that goes like across the whole width of the puzzle, which can be a really nice point of reference for people.
That would be a super useful anchor, like when you're trying to do anything, to just have something that you can grasp onto and use. Like that would be really useful.
Let's move on with all the M's in the alphabet. We have Marie from Norway, Marta from Germany, Mate from Norway, Moshka from Slovenia, Mooney from Germany, and then we move into the N's with Nadia from Indonesia.
I love seeing everybody's mascots. It's so cute to see what sort of creatures everybody has on their desks. We have like a little mushroom, what looks like a little rabbit. Extremely cute.
Yeah, I like it when people position them so that we can actually see them. Like they are supervising the build and they have a very important job.
Well, of course, they have to make sure that the puzzle is being put together correctly and probably giving some helpful tips and tricks.
Who else is going to do it if not them?
My cat has decided that her new favorite thing is to flop on top of puzzles, usually when they're finished, but sometimes when they're still in the middle of being built. Ooh, and I love to move on to Mooney, who has not done a flip and is doing an entirely Dead Reckoning approach.
Wow, that's brave.
It's incredibly brave. This is something that I've started to try and do with my puzzling to save time with the flip. I'm not a very fast flipper. It is so hard to do in competition because it is a style of puzzling that most people do not do. And so you're approaching a puzzle entirely differently. But they have got quite a bit placed. The thing is that every puzzle piece that you put down is where it belongs in the puzzle. And so it saves you time with the flip and it allows you to really just get right to building.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that's going to fare in the end of it all, and if it saves any time or if it doesn't. Yeah, very curious to see. Then we also have Neve from Ireland. We have Nina from Slovenia. We have Rike from Denmark. We have Robert from Sweden, Romina from Switzerland, and Sandra from Switzerland. What is it that Sandra has built there kind of in the middle? Oh, it's the moon. Okay. I thought is there a telescope in this image that I completely forgot about?
Yeah, also in a build where there's very limited space. And so has that moon in the top border built, but has a lot of pieces at the top of her board. And so there's not room to place it yet. And so she's just sort of keeping it in the middle where there isn't anything else built until there's space, I think, to sort of attach it to the rest of the edge.
Hmm.
I cannot puzzle from a box. I have pieces everywhere. Chaos puzzling, says Anna in the chat.
Yeah, valid. I mean, that's how I used to do puzzles before I was doing speed puzzling. I would just puzzle out of the box. And then I would go every time I wanted to find something else, I would go through the whole box to find like only those pieces. It was the most inefficient way to puzzle, but I really enjoyed it.
As long as you're having fun, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
We are approaching the 30-minute mark. We're just past the 29-minute mark, so we're reaching the half hour. I'm not sure how Victor and Kristen are doing, but it does not look like we have anyone super, super close to finishing yet. So
yeah, I think Michelle is gonna soon switch to them when they only have like a few pieces left, so that could be any moment. But for now, let's continue with the introductions. We have Sanna from Finland, Sarah from the United Kingdom, another Sanna R. We have Sandra. Okay, sorry. We have Sandra. Then we have Sanna. Then we have Sarah from the United Kingdom. Then we have Shay from the United States. Then we have Silke from Germany and Solvik also from Germany.
Really enjoying Silke's puppet.
Oh, Sophie. Sorry, Sophie. Who has puppets?
Silke, the little people who are sitting watching her.
Yeah, cute.
The puzzle supervisors.
And a little penguin at behind Sarah's table.
Yes, and Silke looks like she has arranged all of the puzzle pieces. I think she's done a shape sort, and they're all positioned the correct way. And so she has done, or I think she's still working on that shape sort. Might be done. That is an interesting thing to do so early. Oh, and we're seeing Victor closing in very quickly. Inga also with just the bottom road left to do. Both Ingas really doing well. Inga and Inga.
Yes,
and Chris,
Inga and Inge.
Inga and Inga.
Yeah.
It looks like Victor is going to get the win here. He's got maybe 25 pieces left, and right now he's just got to figure out what goes where and slam it in as fast as he can. We're past the 31-minute mark. I think he's going to be able to get it in under 32 if he hurries.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I'm pinning him here in the Google Meet, so I don't see the delay. But yeah, so he does have a few pieces on his puzzle now.
Oh, Victor, it makes it so difficult to see how many pieces he has left. You really have to look at the empty space in his puzzle. You can't look at the pieces that he has.
But there's not that many, so he has a few still in the brown area, and then this one character here in kind of in the middle of the building, which seems to be there he goes. Now he's filling them in. And there's like 5 pieces left. 3,
well done.
2. Come on.
Well done. Good job, good job. Mari's doing very well too. Only has a few pieces left.
Good job, Victor. So you were really close to your guess. So this was like 32 minutes and like 15 seconds or something like that.
I'll take that. I'll take about 90 seconds, give or take. I'll take that. Now I'm fascinated to see who comes in second with this. I think we've got Kristen, who's got still a significant number of pieces, and so I don't think it will be her. Mari looks very close, and so does Inge.
Yeah, and Lenka also is like finishing. I mean, she is like trying to get them in there. But yeah, I feel like Mari, it's gonna be between like Mari and Inge.
I think so too. Yeah.
At least from what I can see.
What it's interesting to see too is how people are finishing. There's definitely pieces all over the place for Lenka. Mari seems to have it mostly concentrated in the bottom half of her puzzle. It's a little tricky to see where Inga's are, but it looks like they're also a little bit more scattered, or maybe in that middle strip where most of her empty pieces are.
Yeah, I feel like the middle strip is probably the most hardest part because it has all of these faces and then not a clear background because it's like kind of in between the road and the lake behind it, and there's like a little strip of like green that can confuse it with the green at the bottom. So that might be the most difficult part actually of the puzzle. But it seems like Mari had really like a strategy going into it and like finished all the sections and now only has to finish this middle section. And she's putting in like the last few pieces that are there, and they're all seeming to go in this like right in this area right in the middle of the puzzle.
Yeah, using that background as clues, making it sort of giving yourself strips to do it. It's going to be close, but I do think Mari has second place locked up pretty good. She's got maybe 7 pieces left to put in. And done. Congratulations, Mari.
Woo!
Second place.
Yay! And only like 2 minutes behind Victor. I think that's pretty good.
That's very impressive.
That's very close. Yeah.
A while ago, somebody said Victor was going to finish in 29 minutes and then second place was going to be in 39 minutes, which was not the case.
No, the field is close together. Even with these first places. Like you do have that more often that there's like bigger gaps in the beginning and then smaller gaps, as the rest of the field comes in. But I feel like the EJJs, it has gotten more and more just like finish after finish after finish after finish, even in the beginning.
It looks like Inga is just about done too for third. Yes. Well done.
Inga! Congrats.
Lenka and Kristen really neck and neck for fourth place here. Lenka has made some really incredible progress. And so maybe has 15, 12 pieces left. And Kristen's at about that too. So it's just who can get their pieces to their empty spots fastest. This is really where it comes to the physicality of it.
Yeah, like how Kristen takes a bunch of puzzle pieces in her hand and then like holds them with her left hand over the puzzle like an extra little puzzle tray, whereas Lenka is literally just puzzling with both hands.
And I think that's really helping her. We'll see who hits the button first. Ooh,
it's Lenka.
Lenka. Well done. That was a fun one. That was close. And it looks like their name starts with an A, finishing in the
Kristen
sky.
is also finished. Congratulations.
Well done, Kristen. Bottom left corner, we have somebody finishing up the sky.
Yeah, Anna from Germany. And there she goes.
Well done. One of the only people to finish in the sky, I think, so far. Most everybody else has been finishing in the road or the
middle,
river.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're getting a lot of sub 40 times here compared to the fastest time on my speed puzzling was, what was it, 42?
42:07, I think, was what the fastest time, and that was Teresa.
Yeah, so that is crushed.
Anyone else we can get any sub 40 times? There's still plenty of time. We still got 3 minutes. We just passed the 37-minute mark. So we've got plenty of time for that. Ooh, Shea Burkett has again done it so cleanly in those strips with the sky and the river. And so now just has the road to finish.
Yeah, I like people that are organizing the chaos. Like this is a really chaotic image. And yet some people still manage to like puzzle it somehow in order.
It's very admirable, and that's definitely how Shea is doing it here. And it works different ways for different people. Some people really like that sort of chaos puzzling and they don't need to have it organized and all done in order. But if you can give yourself some structure and direction, like that can help some people with their puzzling. So kudos to anyone else. Oh, and it looks like Yata has finished too. Congratulations, Yata.
Yes, we are at 37 minutes and, oh, sorry, we're at just 38 minutes right now. And we already have 7 finishers. So I think we're going to get maybe a top 10. Well, I want to be like very positive about it, and I'm gonna say maybe we're gonna have a top 10 under 40 or just around 40. That would be amazing.
I think that's very possible. All right, so we have
cat. Oh, and the cat is being pushed off.
No, let the cat puzzle.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like in the way of if it's like this at the finishing line and it's just coming down like, hello.
That's very cat behavior. Oh, are you busy? Too bad. I want you to pet me.
Yeah, cats are just, they think that's their job. Cat invasion. Yes,
it is.
exactly.
We've got 1 more minute for sub 40s. We've got Tobias, who's very close. We've got Freya, who's very close. Shay, very close. We might see maybe the rest of our top 10 finishing just over the 40-minute mark, unless they can really, oh, that poor cat really wants to participate. You can see its little feet in the background. Poor Shay.
Yeah, also on the screen we have Magdalene Kreutz, who was 2nd individual and 1st place in pairs at the Austrian Nationals that also happened last weekend.
Yeah, we're
She's
really
in the bottom
in.
left.
Yes, we're really in sort of like competition season. A lot of nationals that have happened recently. The World Series just happened. So everyone's sort of in their prime puzzle form. They've been practicing a lot. They've been competing. So everyone's sort of in a good puzzle shape, if you will. That's our 40-minute marker right there.
Yeah, so we didn't quite get 10 finishers on under 40, but definitely under 45. Freya just finished. Congratulations.
Well done,
40
Freya.
minutes and 10 seconds.
Still incredibly impressive times.
Yeah, and then right on her heel, we have Shay, who was putting in the last few pieces, and Tobias getting there as well, just like Magdalene. So Magdalene and Tobias are very even at the moment.
Yeah, it's neck and neck right now.
And Shay did it. Yay.
Good job, Shay. Well done. No, and a reminder to everybody in the chat, everybody who's finishing now is still faster than what was the fastest time on My Speed Puzzling up until
Yes.
40 minutes ago.
Exactly. And, Teresa is an incredibly accomplished puzzler. So it's not like this is just a random time of a person, that is not super good at speed puzzling. Teresa is one of the fastest people in our community. So, yeah.
Anybody know offhand when Teresa did this puzzle? Was it within the last year or has it been a while?
I wonder. I could look it up quickly.
Tobias has finished. Well done, Tobias. Still under that 42-minute mark. Magdalene has finished. Great job. We have another organized puzzler in David, who is going section by section and has most of that sort of yellowish road section and a little bit of the people sitting up at the top of the bike to finish. Enemies very close, maybe like 30 puzzle pieces left. Oh, we have a little puzzle vacuum to get all the puzzle dust off the table. Love that from Magdalene.
Yeah, Teresa did this in January.
Oh, so pretty recently, within the last few months. All right, thank you for looking that up.
No worries. Inge already has put her time in. She's number 1 until someone else puts their time in.
We should have a contest. How long does it take you to put your puzzle time into My Speed Puzzling after you finish a competition?
And do you put it in? Because some people just don't put it in, and I'm like, do it.
Put it in. Everybody should put their times in. Victor the Crusher, says SJ in chat.
Well, talking about Victor the Crusher, shall we invite him in for an interview and like an inside scoop on the workings of this puzzle? Victor, if you're here, if you're still here, I think he's still here.
Yeah.
Hello.
Come in.
Like,
Hi.
Hello.
hello.
Congratulations on your time today. Did you think you were gonna crush it this hard, or was it a surprise to you?
I thought that my time would be longer for sure, because I have done 2 other puzzles from the same series. Once in Euro Jigsaw Jams and 2 times in Szybkie Puzzle, like Polish online competitions. And both of them were relatively longer than this one. But I think this one was, first of all, like I knew the concept of what those puzzles are about. But also, I think it might have been easier in a way that there was a structure to like, I don't know, we had the bike, for example. So that was something that you could build and have a kind of an opening for things that were near the bike. But for the other 2, it wasn't really the case. There was colors all around. So here it was much better, I think, much more sectioned.
Did you sort of use those sections to help you break the puzzle down and maybe start on the sky first and then go into the road or the river and use the background?
Yes. So I think I did most of the edge at the very beginning. And I also sorted the lightest pieces. So it was both the lightest sky and also the moon. And I also sorted greens, but the green grass, not the green objects. So I worked through those. Then I just kind of kept grabbing random pieces from the sky and also from the mountains, because there are a lot of details in them. So there are the bicyclists. Is it a word?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so bike riders. And because of that, it was easy to spot things, and I didn't really have to go by shape. I just went by what was on the piece. And also because the bike was covering most of the image, like there weren't that many objects that were in front of the bike. It was easy to first try to go by the structure of the bike, and then if it's not working because you just have a random red kind of line, and you're like, okay, what's that? And then you look at the background and you're like, okay, so this is from this section of the bike. So it was kind of back and forth, and that was fun. Also, getting the water was okay, but it was hard. And at some point, I don't know, maybe it was like 50 pieces till the end, I realized that I slowed down a lot, and I wanted to switch tactics, because I realized that because of me trying to do this whole puzzle as like a very sectioned image, it shouldn't be done this way at the very end. So I switched to just grabbing the pieces that I recognized with what's on them from what I learned up to this point, instead of trying to look for something specific that I kept doing up until that point. So, and that kind of unlocked me to keep the pace, and that was fun. Really like this one.
Yeah, I thought it was fascinating to see the puzzle kind of emerge from out of your table as you were placing the pieces. It looked kind of like you were just placing pieces randomly into the frame, but then the puzzle just kind of happened, for the watcher of it. So yeah, that's really cool. Victor, World Series, congratulations on winning the whole thing. How did you feel? What was the experience like for you? Did you expect this to happen? Like, tell us a little bit about your insights from last weekend.
So I tend to not expect things. I just want, I'm not an ignorant. Like, I know that I had some chances to win, So it's kind of like in the back of your head that I think I can win, but you are not really like, at least for me and for this specific event, because it was different at Worlds last year. I just went with this kind of a peace of mind of, I think I can win, and that's enough. Like I'm not about to go crazy into thinking about time differences and stuff. And I did, like at some point I did, because it was kind of stressful. It's like two challenges. But it's just, I don't think it can be avoided. Like it's always going to be there. But overall, I'm very happy with how kind of I handled my mental side of things. And I was just mainly just happy and excited for what was happening. And also I spent a lot of time with different people. I tend to spend most of my time with the same people all the time. So for this event, I just went and kind of, I think I went to most of the puzzle meetups that there were, and even organized some pairs puzzling in hotels with Mari, who is here today on second place. Congratulations, Mari. And that was awesome. And also with Kali Warder. And we met up with Donna Louise, our hair group, with like US and UK puzzles. And in between the challenges and like after the challenges, before the challenges, like every single time I had someone to talk to, and it was very fun. And also I was searching for my card. So I talked to a lot of people, even because of that.
I think a lot of people wanted to keep your card,
Mhm.
as the reigning World Series champion. I think your card is like ranking high on people's to collect list. Did you end up finding your card and taking it home?
So I wanted a specific card because I have two of my cards. I have my shiny card and like the normal one, and I was looking for the holographic one. And I was really going around trying to get it. And I also got a spare Alejandro card, and I was just going with it like this. In the venue, like, do you want to get him? Just give me. And it didn't happen. People were just hiding. I'm just sure they're hiding, because since I learned that like every single person got 20 cards, like of this one specific person, and there were like, I think 10 normal ones, then 5 and 5 for the shiny and holographic ones. I'm like, I met only 6 of my cards. Where's the rest?
So if you have a holographic Victor card, he will give you an Alejandro, and he really, I think, as the World Series inaugural champion, they should definitely, if you don't find one yourself, I think Mel and Lou should just print one, a special edition for you.
No, I don't have the Alejandro anymore because I gave it to Aaron, because he was missing Alejandro, Karen, me, and Kati at that point. So we agreed with the person that gave me the additional Alejandro, so I could swap for myself, that we want to give it to Aaron.
That's fair.
Yeah, I also ended up giving a bunch of my extra cards to Aaron that he didn't have yet, just so he could complete. And he's still missing, I think, 2 of the cards. Yeah, so I hope he can finish them. He can finish the collection soon. Victor, the question of today was like, favorite puzzle of the World Series, least favorite puzzle of the World Series. What is your opinion?
My least favorite would be Challenge 3. Mainly because for me, this puzzle is very basic. Like most of the, like the rest of the puzzles, except for the Challenge 3, I think had something very interesting to them, or something very specific. And for this puzzle, it is it's a puzzle of vegetables. Like, have you seen US Nationals from 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
and this just kind of reminded me of that, and I was like, okay, it's a puzzle. So it's not like I don't like it, it's just like it was the most basic one, so this is my choice for the worst one. But the best one, and I also have two, like you, Catherine, but completely different. So first would be challenge 2. I just love the repetition puzzle. And for the gradient in it, for the repetition in it, for like the complexity of it, I really like it. And it's also just pretty. I like it. And then, and this is very controversial, I really like the panorama.
I mean, I know why
Wow.
you liked it. You finished it like 8 minutes or something before the second person finished it. So of course you like it.
Oh, but I don't like the image. I just like the puzzle as it is, because I have this thing that I kind of believe that my puzzling skills aren't really about being able to puzzle fast. They're mostly about being able to quickly adapt and organize things so that I can do them fast as if they were easy. And so, because of the fact that the most of the puzzles in this event were up until that point kind of easy, like they weren't really complicated in a way. Just there was one way to do it. Unless you're me in challenge 1, then you're kind of not doing what's supposed to be done. But when I saw the panorama image, when it popped out of the bag, I was terrified with how difficult it is, and also how different from my like good qualities as a speed puzzler it is. But then after, I think I was half of the time like for my flip, and I was kind of taking the edge, and I have thought to myself that okay, this puzzle is very difficult, but also there should be a way to do it. Like it's not difficult and just that, is because there are some puzzles that are just difficult and you cannot really do anything about that. And for this puzzle, I knew that one of my good skills as a speed puzzler is what I just said, able to find my way to kind of make very small advantages. And I realized that if I just don't get stuck and I just don't like kind of I don't know, let's just stay with the get stuck, and I just go and do the choices that I think are optimal for this specific puzzle, then I think I can do it really well. And if I don't, you know, like I'm first or anything, I'm just going to be very happy with the fact that I kind of made it the best way I can. And yeah, and there were a lot of things in this puzzle that required a lot of different skills. Like every single section has its own difficulty in a different way, and you have to choose if you are a very well-trained puzzler, and you kind of have those like things that you can choose from. Okay, I want to do this section like this, and I want to do this section with this technique. Then this puzzle is very interesting because it requires most of the things you know, and you kind of have to juggle around. And yeah, I like it because of that. And I also thought that to Mel and Lou that I think this puzzle was perfect. Maybe not like at the very end of the event, but I really love the image for like that it could have been that way. And yeah.
It sounds like you're the king of the pivot, that you have sort of the mental flexibility to juggle multiple different kinds of strategies that you need to use and know when to implement them at a different point, which I think a lot of people had difficulty with that image because it was so hard and it was tricky that it was put at the end of the contest. But it is a very good image if you want to try and highlight who is somebody who can utilize all of those different skills in one puzzle image. So it's something that is really like showcasing that ability.
Yeah.
I do. It's
Yeah.
interesting what you said about the busy image being your least favorite. I think a lot of people were surprised when that came out of the bag because for me personally, I did not think that it was a busy image. I thought we would see something like what the puzzle was for the EJJ today.
Yeah.
It seemed more like blocks of color, something that we've seen before. It didn't seem like a sort of busy image in the traditional sense where you have to pick up a piece and hold it up to the box and then place it.
Mhm. But it also wasn't advertised as busy, right? It was
Detailed, yes.
detailed. So
Yeah.
I'll just turn a blind eye on that.
I mean, I know that some people were like talking about the fact that maybe they had different expectations of like what the puzzle would be or like what repetition means and all of these things. But I think it was great to like surprise people a little bit, you know, like to bring something that is not exactly what everyone was expecting. And that way I feel like it kept the competition, like it kept everyone on their toes, you know, it's like, ooh, what will this be? And then not having the thing that everyone is expecting it to be, kind of. So in that sense, I thought that it was really good. And I don't think that's something to, you know, like be mad about or anything like that.
Yeah, I totally agree. But also, and I'm not saying like we didn't have any busy puzzles because the circle was very busy.
Yeah.
And I think like this event in terms of puzzle choices would be like insanely perfect if we give the unboxed puzzle to repetition, the repetition puzzle to unboxed, and then swap challenge 3 and 5 in terms of images. Because if you have the color blocks in the circle, it's only about, can you do the circle? Because puzzle is so basic, right? So I think that would be perfect in terms of what the images would be.
Yeah,
It's
food for thought also for next year, and then we'll see how they will surprise us with whatever comes in the second edition of the World Series.
I just hope for random cut next time.
I agree. I'm interested to see if they keep the same sections, like if they do another gradient or another detailed or if they shake it up a little bit and maybe have a random cut in there, maybe something besides a circle. I don't know, maybe 1,000 piece, different categories of puzzles to do.
Yeah, I would also like to do like a bigger piece count, but let's just forget about the panoramas.
I think that's what everybody else is also thinking too. Victor, I do want to ask, have you taken a break since the World Series or have you gotten right back into puzzling since all of that happened? Just a week ago, but are you taking time to relax?
No, unfortunately not, because when I came back from Munich, I had 2 days to be home and then I had to leave to go to Germany again. On the other side of Germany, like up north, like you cannot really go more north than what I did. And I spent some time there because I had to, because of like my job that it's about to start very soon. And that was stressful, and like I didn't really have time to process anything. And when I came home after that, I just went straight into doing puzzles again to kind of get my mind out of what I need to stress about in my personal life. So now it's looking like I'm again doing like 5 puzzles a day. And it's looking like it is. But it's about to change because after World Series and actually before World Series, I was looking at this event as like this milestone, and I want to change like my training techniques like 180 degrees. And I wanted to do it right after World Series, right after I'm done with it, and I don't have to like think about anything anymore because I'm not going to Worlds. So I hope it's going to happen like before June because I'm kind of exhausted right now. But I don't really have any more like very complicated puzzles to do. Today I did like 3 impossible ones, and like these are the ones that were the only 3.
It sounds like you're challenging people to send you their most complicated puzzle. So if anyone has a really difficult puzzle at home, get in touch with Victor because he's looking for challenges.
Now, I have a puzzle that I think is going to be more difficult than anything anyone could send me.
That also sounds like a challenge. If you can make a puzzle that's your most complicated thing that you can possibly think of and send it to Victor, do that too.
Well, Victor, thank you so much for talking to us. I want to let you go because we have Mari waiting and I don't want her to keep having to wait like even longer, like with the time difference and all of these things. So thank you so much for talking with us. Congratulations on your win today. Congratulations on your win at the World Series. And good luck with your new training technique. We're looking forward to seeing the results of that next year.
Thank you so much for having me and see you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, in the meantime, we are at like 1 hour and 3 minutes. And in the meantime, we had 42 finishers. That's 43 finishers. Someone just finished right now. That's about halfway through the whole group. We have 90 people puzzling in total. So like about half of the people are done right now. We were wondering about Muni's technique with the picking out of the box and placing the pieces right onto the board. And she said, just wanted to say, because you were interested in a commentary, that the complete pick and place out of the box got her under 60 minutes, which is a really good time. So thanks for the nice competition. But I'm glad it worked for you, Muni.
Yes,
Maybe I'll try it.
I would love to talk to Muni at some point to learn a little bit more about that technique. There was somebody at the UK Nationals, I can't remember who did an interview with Jim and the other commentators who were there and talked about how they started getting faster when they stopped puzzling like they thought they were supposed to speed puzzling and puzzled the way that they knew how to do fast, which was just picking and placing. And that was when they noticed the jump in their times. So I love seeing people who are using different techniques that are different than what most of the folks in the field are doing. Hannah Little, that was Hannah Little. Thank you to the folks in the chat.
Yeah, the sport is so new and we're all like trying to figure out like what's the best technique and what is this and what is that. We're talking about techniques all the time and like ways to do puzzles and all of these things. But what I notice over and over again is that people just perform their best when they are doing something that suits them the best. And sometimes you have to just try a bunch of different things to find out what, works best for you.
It is so, we are at such an interesting point in this sport because just like you said, it's so new. I grew up running most of my life and I still do. And I feel like running as a sport has been a while for a long time. And there are different ways that you can train for it. But there is some sort of generally regarded knowledge of this is what you should do the best. You should do a certain amount of mileage. And if you're running this kind of race, you should do this sort of speed work. And if you're running this sort of race, you should do this sort of long distance runs. And it feels like in speed puzzling, it is still so new. And there are some parallels, I think, to long distance running or long distance swimming or sprinting or things like that. But there are so many different techniques that you can use and so many different styles of puzzling that we are just scratching the surface of what does a training regimen look like? Is there a best practice or does it really depend on the person? And we don't know yet. And we might not know for a long time. And that's so exciting and also terrifying.
I think what gets me really excited is all the people that are now publishing the stats and like different ways of looking at the results from the World Series, for example, and to see like how people perform, where the main people are like spread more, where the spread is smaller. I find those things so interesting to see, and that is stuff that like real sports has, and we are just developing it right now. Let's invite Mari to come and join us and tell us a bit about her strategy tonight, because congratulations on your second place. The way that you solved this puzzle looked so organized. Was it organized or was it coincidence?
It felt very organized. I was surprised and thrilled with that. I am not usually a busy puzzle person. Like, this style of image would be something that is tricky for me recently. So I've been working really hard on them and had some like really fun surprise myself times. Like today at the World Series, the details puzzle was by far my fastest, and not only my fastest, but the round where I felt the most like myself. In the ups and downs of the weekend, you know, we all had those rounds where it's like, oh my God, why did I do that? But that was the one I was like, oh, there I am. So it's fun to see a puzzle type that I usually, it would come out of the box and be like, oh boy, here we go, is now suddenly I'm getting results on. So hey, maybe training works.
Maybe training works. And I know we're showing people who are still puzzling, but Michelle, I would love if you could throw Mari on screen for a second, because Mari is wearing Jim's incredible puzzle hat and it looks quite good on you, Mari. I'm really enjoying that.
Jim was watching my round and I finished. He's like, well, that was some good puzzling. Have a hat. So if I earn the hat, I feel very accomplished for the day, the week, the month.
As you should. It's a worthy prize for some very incredible puzzling. So can you tell us what it was like for you to be at the World Series? A completely different format than you're used to, completely different challenges. What was the experience like to go there?
It was awesome. I think I join a large chorus of folks saying that having that fresh format and the idea of getting to puzzle so much that it's not an elimination, like a knockout style of competition. So there's not the stress about, oh, do I make the next round? You can really settle in and say, what can I bring to this? It's not just refreshing for me. That reinvigorates my interest in competing in this sport. Is you could have the coolest puzzle in all the world. Fundamentally, at the championship level, having only one puzzle is boring. It's boring to watch. It's boring to do. It's stressful to prepare for, because you're sitting there going, you know, we're all so tight, right? Especially at the top, the times are so tight. And there are, you know, 50 people who could be in the top 10, depending on the day and depending on the image. And if there's only one puzzle, it's already kind of a lottery. Is this image going to be your image or is it not? And that, to me, pulls focus away from the puzzling when there's a big lottery standing in the way. So I was really excited to have that part of things. That will always be part of it, right? But significantly diminished. That was really, really wonderful.
Absolutely. I'm also interested to hear from you personally, because I saw in the first day, it was hard to keep track of everybody's stats. So many folks were there. There were so many different puzzle events going on in different times. But I did notice that for you, you got faster in every round, especially on day one. And so I'm interested in whether you thought that was because as the images came out, you were like, oh, I'm a little bit more comfortable with this one than I was the last one, or if it was because you warmed up throughout the day and felt like you were sort of more in your puzzle mindset.
Yeah, I think it was that. I also the World Series for Jim and I was the end of a 3.5-week trip in Europe, beginning with the UK Nationals we were at. And right before that, we'd just come out of US Nationals. And then we got our week in between UK and Munich. We got to spend with Michelle and did a couple of EJJs. But I had been in championship training mode for so many weeks in a row. I was very, very tired. I was traveling tired. I'm also like training tired. And I could feel when I'd train that the edge on my speed was dulling. Because your brain is just like, oh gosh, can I do one more of these? And I'm an endurance puzzler. I'm somebody who will, let's go, let's do more. But you can't maintain your like sharpest edge for that long at that intensity. So I definitely, in having 3 challenges over the day, because I was tired, I definitely needed a couple of rounds to get in gear, and it did feel better each round, each day. But I was out of gas. I was out of gas when I walked into the building, and I knew it. So it was a personal challenge to be like, okay, I'm going to pretend to not care about that for this round. Get better at pretending to not care about that every round. So that was a really cool personal challenge for me.
Mm.
And there are definitely a number of rounds that it's like, oh my God, why did I do that? That was stupid. But there were also, I was really proud of myself. A format like that is about, it's not about your puzzling or about one puzzle. It's about perseverance. And it's about you dig deep and keep fighting back. And because it's a cumulative time, every second counts, every piece counts. And you cannot give up for even one piece, because your final placement might be determined based on how much you freaked out about a dropped piece in the first minute of the first challenge, right? So I really like that part of things, and I'm really proud of how I stepped up to that. Yeah.
How were you fluctuating throughout the competition? Like, did you kind of stay stable in your placement, or were you like one of those people who went like all over the place?
I had a very weak first challenge for me. I was just under 40 minutes for it. And part of it was getting used to the space. I also happened to be right under a very blue light. And with that Tropicana sunset gradient image, a lot of people have described it as color blocking. There are many gradients in it, but the gradients move so slowly. It's very subtle. And the movement happens in the cool colors. And being right under the blue light, I couldn't see that at all. And so it was like trying to figure out what I was going to do without that. And I was, a little jittery and a little unstable. So I was, keeping something sub 40 is good. You need to do that. But that's the sort of puzzle where I would want to be 34, 35 on. So that was my weak start. And then it was like, okay, well, I need to bounce back from that. After that, I stayed pretty stable. Although I had my outstanding run was the third puzzle, the vegetables, where it was like, okay, there I am. I think I was 34 and change on that, which is the sort of time I'm looking for. But yeah, so I had a low point and a high point and then an average. And it shows that the system of scoring, like there are lots of things that they could do to adjust that, but it's actually pretty good, because if you drop my low and my high, right, my low placement and my high placement, everything else is about where I finished. So that's a really good stress test, right? We have that. I compete in other sports, including I'm a musician, professional violinist, and I've competed in those things for ages and ages. And it is very common in the music championships, the fiddling championships, to have 5 judges and you drop the low and the high. So that's kind of a great way to stress test time, that if you take the outliers of the results, are the results still correct? And they were. So I'm impressed.
I know.
That is
Sorry, my next question has nothing to do with puzzling, but now you mentioned like fiddling competitions. Just very quickly explain what, and why.
Wait, the speed puzzlers were asking why somebody else would do a silly contest? My goodness. Yeah, there are, in different styles of music, there are competitions, and they're all different formats depending on the style. I'm a multi-stylist, so I've competed as a classical musician, as a jazz musician, as like a Texas, like American bluegrass style fiddler, as a Scottish fiddler, as a Canadian fiddler, as an Irish fiddler, and every style has its own way that it competes, and how you compete, what you ask people to do, and how you score it and you judge it, presents what do you value, right? Like, are you valuing individual expression? Are you valuing someone's ability to play a certain tune a certain way? Are you evaluating somebody's ability to sound traditional in a style, like, oh, if we heard you today, would we think you're actually from Glasgow in the 1600s, that kind of thing. So it's always fun to me looking at different competition systems and what values are they putting forward based on how they say they're going to score it, and how they're going to judge it. So that's really fun and really cool. And it means I get really good at like the art of competition itself, because you have to figure out what are they after and what is this system trying to ask of you, and then how can I do that really, really well.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, yeah, of course, it's kind of silly for me to be like, why? But still,
No, why is never a silly question.
no, I mean, it's fun. It just illustrates again like this kind of need for people to like, oh, here's a skill that we can kind of measure and see like who is like even better at the skill than other people. And just like with puzzling, it's like, okay, we're doing speed puzzling, and which skill are we testing? And I think the World Series is a really great example of where we're not just randomly testing who's faster, but we're going to test like people specifically in like certain categories, and then combining all the categories together to have like overall fastest or most adaptable, maybe not fastest, but like most adaptable speed puzzler, most all-round speed puzzler. So it's a different take than like other speed puzzling competitions in that sense as well.
Yeah. And I think there's also another layer that I talk about this a lot, that I feel like I have a very cool home field advantage in my pocket coming to speed puzzling, having been competing in music for most of my life, because music is something that you can have the best scoring system in all the world. It's ultimately subjective. And the people who compete in subjective disciplines, there's this idea that we all have to absorb very, very early on, that there is not the idea of one champion, the best violinist. That doesn't exist. That's laughable as a concept, right? There's not even the best Scottish fiddler. There's not even the best player of Scottish reels, right? There is this idea of champions, of it being a tier. And like, I can go to any of these styles of music and ask anybody who knows, you know, the most basic things about that style of music and say, who are the champion Scottish fiddlers? And everybody's going to be able to give a list right away. Everybody knows who they are. There are about 10 to 15 of them, the top of the top of the top. And there's no ranking those folks. And I'm used to being in that group, and there's a great camaraderie amongst us because we all know we're not ranked. It's a cohort. And we all know that on any given day, we could go in any order, right? Today, I may be considered number 1, and tomorrow I may be number 16, but there are 20 of us, you know? And so I am not a better violinist because I'm placed number 1. I'm not a worse violinist because I'm placed 16. I am one of the household championship names that people know, and that getting to that is the accomplishment. I think speed puzzling is like that too. You look at the World Series, there were 50 people who could have made that top 10 easily. That's not counting any surprises, right? If you look down the list of participants, I counted 50. Maybe somebody else counts 40 and somebody else counts 60, but that's the ballpark. And that doesn't mean the people who are top 10, it's any less of an accomplishment. And it doesn't mean the people who landed in the teens or the 20s or the 30s, it's, you know, that they missed or they goofed or they aren't that good. It's just, it's that tight at the top. We can't rank when we're competing anything, even if it looks subjective, like speed puzzling does, because we have a timer, right? But there's a lot going on that has nothing to do with puzzling, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if you would have to like statistically make this work in a sense that you would make it like a scientific experiment, there would be so much like random variance that you couldn't explain, like how well did you sleep, how good did you travel, which mood were you in today, did you recently do a similar puzzle to the puzzle that you're doing in the competition, is your sense of smell okay the day that you're puzzling, or do you have some weird smells coming at you? You know, it's like all of these things that you can't really quantify or classify. And then also, you know, at a competition, you're like there in person, you're not in your usual environment where you puzzle at home, where it's like more or less controlled, but you have to then fight the environment to an extent, like you were having a fight with the blue light, you know, that was coming on top of you. So there's all of these like random things that definitely have an influence on like, how are you going to puzzle today?
Yeah, absolutely. No, if we were to submit our speed puzzling results as like a scientific paper, it would get rejected from any self-assessment journal. Be like, your data is bogus. But it also, competing is fun, right? And it's fun to race yourself and to race the clock and to do it in an environment with all your friends and colleagues who know what it is to do this crazy thing. And just because one result isn't the be all and the end all of the world doesn't mean that what we're doing is pointless. So I love that kind of coexistence of like, yes, we love the results. And when it's your day, it's awesome. And you should have that because you've done the work. I mean, I don't think there's a person in all the world who is surprised at what Victor accomplished at the World Series, but we're all amazed. It was amazing. And to just watch him do his thing, freaking awesome, right? And that should be celebrated. And you should have the chance to do that. And the fact that it could have been, well, I don't know if any of us could have done what he did on that panorama. Good gosh, but you know, there could have been there. Like I love Victor said, I could have won it. Was what he went in with, and that's true. And there were so many people who went in with that legitimately, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. And yeah, I have to cut our interview short because we have 2 more people waiting to be interviewed tonight, and I know we could talk to you for like the rest of the time that this is going on, but yeah, because everything you have to say is always so interesting, and then you always bring like your insights from the fiddling world, and I just love listening to you and your insights. But yeah, unfortunately, we can't talk to you for much longer, so.
That's very fortunate. I love hearing what everybody has to say about this, including you guys. Hannah and Catherine, you're doing great, and it's fun to hear your insights too. So everybody keep puzzling, puzzle fast. Are we going to clear the room? That's the big question.
Yeah, we might.
Go fast, everybody.
We're getting close,
Mari.
Mari.
Thanks so much.
Enjoy your hat day.
Thank you. I will. Tip of the hat to you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we had so many finishers. We have 71 finishers out of 91 competitors, so only 20 more people to go. And let's have a quick look at who is about to finish. So Aurélie looks like she's about to finish now. Karine only has a few pieces left. Karen is almost done with the puzzle. Laura, Helen, Letizia, everyone is like getting close to the finishing line. And we are at the 1 hour and 25 minutes almost mark. So everyone still has like 35 minutes to go.
About 5 more minutes to get a sub 90 time. And I will say also, while we were interviewing Mari, we had a couple of answers to some questions that we had earlier on the stream put in the chat by folks who finished. So Yana said that it was a fun and chaotic puzzle. And then also Yana was the one who was wearing the long sleeved knitted puzzle cardigan jacket and says that she is currently working on a pattern, but just to give a warning, it is a difficult knit. So if you like a challenge and you are a knitter that you think is willing to try something hard, perhaps reach out to Yana after she's done with that pattern, but it is a challenge. And then we also heard from, I cannot remember their name because the username is a little different. Mina Emelthrill 538 was wearing the owl onesie, and it is confirmed a onesie, but thinks that maybe there needs to be an alternative for the summer. And I did not say that at the beginning. I can never puzzle in long sleeves because I get so hot. So I was so impressed that you had the hood and the long sleeves and we're puzzling in it. It's quite a commitment.
Yeah, and also long sleeves are kind of puzzle hazards. You know, like the sleeve your pieces can get caught in the sleeve, or your sleeve will like push pieces off the table. That's always like, yeah. At home, I don't care that much, but at competitions, I definitely never have anything unless the sleeve is like really tight. And then it kind of works.
Yeah, but no bracelets, no sleeves. They can really just sort of get in the way.
Yeah.
Looks like we have 18 people who are still finished. 17, somebody just finished. We might clear the room. We still have over 30 minutes to go. For about 18 more people. This is definitely a puzzle I think that we could have almost everyone finish, which would be super exciting.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Before we finish, let's check in with Annemie, who is from Switzerland and who was also at the World Series last weekend. And if you were there, you might have seen Annemie and her sister, because they were wearing like the unicorn onesies, or like the blow up unicorns on the second day. And there's your pet rat.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
What's your rat called?
Yes, it's she's called Sloofy.
Sloopy.
Hello, Sloopy. Oh, she's shy. Come say
Yeah, she
hello.
always
There
looks
she
for
is.
the dark part, like the shade.
Have you trained her to do a puzzle with the tiny hands?
No, but she likes pieces. So when I don't look at her and she's on the table, when I have pieces on the table, there might be a missing piece. Happened already
Oh.
twice.
Does she like to eat them or does she like to hide them?
Ah, she collects them.
She collects them, of course.
Cute.
Of course.
Yeah, and she is our remaining one, so we always cuddle her, take her with us.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, she's
yeah.
so cute.
She's so sweet.
Yeah, she is, and she's so calm. She will sit there for, I don't know, 2 hours if you don't move. I mean, if you
Wow.
move, she'll try to get rid of me, but let's see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Now-
someone in the comments just said those unicorns brought me so much joy on day 2. I was nervous walking up, but seeing the unicorns, I forgot to be nervous for a bit.
That was our goal.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, I thought about being there on the first day, but I forgot the batteries.
Oh.
And I had to find batteries on Friday night. And yeah, so I had to kind of run to the station and find a shop who sells batteries, because I really wanted to be there, because at Worlds it was such a joy to, like, everyone was smiling. And I thought maybe people might have struggled on the first day or are not as happy as I was with the table or with the lighting. So I just wanted them to forget what happened if it was a bad thing on the first day, to like reset for the second day.
Yeah, you definitely did that, because I saw you. I heard you the day before talking about the batteries not working. And then the second day, I was in my hotel room and we're looking out of the window and I see you like walking there with your sister like this. And I was like, we have to get down. We have to say hi to the unicorns.
You know, the fun thing, we walk normally and it looks so silly. It looks like we pretend to walk stupidly, but it's like the way you walk. It looks like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
Can you tell us what the inception of the puzzle unicorn costume was? How did you start doing it?
So I blame it all on my sister. So my sister likes to do crazy things, but not by her own. She always like needs somebody who just says, let's do it and do it. So she has these crazy ideas, but almost never like does it. And then during COVID, we saw a lot of nice videos of people who don't wanted to wear masks. So they went into the shops wearing these inflatables. And then we were like, oh, we should do that. So I secretly bought the unicorns like 6 years ago, so that we could go shopping with them once, but we could never do that. So I surprised my sister 2 years ago when I went to Nepal the first time to say goodbye. I showed up with the unicorns and we laughed so hard that my stomach hurt like 2 days. And then we were like, maybe we have to bring them to the puzzle community, because like back then I didn't know about speed puzzling and everything. So when I started my puzzlegram, I chose the name Puzzle Unicorn. So I had to do that at some point. So yeah, that's how it started, and it will just never end, I guess.
I think the puzzling community would be very upset if it stops now, because you've become a bit of an icon in the puzzle community. I think everybody's always looking for the unicorns at contests now.
Yeah, I hope so. And it's also, you know, I'm a little bit crazy, and I think people who talk to me, they already know. It's just, you know, people normally hold back. Like, I think everyone is crazy, but they try to be normal because normal is what people expect. And then being crazy maybe helps for other people to maybe just do something which is stupid. I mean, I don't know if you saw my unicorn costume on the first day. So I wore this onesie. And I went shopping with this. So on Friday night, when I went to buy batteries, I wore it and I was walking to the station by myself. And I was walking there and I was like everyone was smiling at me. And at first I didn't think why? It's just, oh, people are happy. And then I realized, oh, I'm just a walking unicorns on a Friday night. Everyone is very dressed up with high heels and makeup and everything. And I'm walking here. And then I was like, what would my student think of me? I'm a teacher. And I was like, you know what? I should just teach them it's okay to do these crazy things because it makes people smile. And yeah, I mean, if for me it's easy. If you like me, you like me. If you hate me, you hate me. I think there is nothing in between. And I think it makes it easier for people to like me, and it makes it easier for people to hate me because they think she's so like stupid. I don't want to do anything with her. So yeah.
I love
I don't know anyone who is like on the second cam. I think like everyone loves you.
Yeah, I hope so. Like, yeah. I might be stupid at some point, but I'm never mean stupid.
mhm.
So
I love that
No.
mentality. I love that answer because I feel like we're all choosing to spend time doing jigsaw puzzles as fast as we can. I think we're all a little bit in the weird and slightly on the other side of normal, and so embracing the weird and embracing the things that bring you joy and are fun and can make people laugh and smile. That's never a bad thing.
exactly. You only live once. That's something I heard when I was a teenager, and now I'm just living like that. Because there is always somebody who doesn't like what you do. And when you always look on other people and do stuff that people want you to do, you will not be 100% happy. And when you experience one time this 100% happiness, I just can't go back, and I don't
Mm.
want to. Yeah.
You're my new role model, Anami. That's a great mindset to have. But I'd
Well,
also love
Yeah, it's hard sometimes. It's a fight also from time to time, but I think it's worth doing that because yeah, people struggle. I struggle too, and I struggle less when I do what I think is best for me.
Mhm.
mhm.
And like I'm getting married in 2 months. I don't know if you got married, but like everyone wants to tell you what you should do because you should do this, you should do this, and this triggers me maybe, and I even do more crazy things since this. I mean, not just me. I just do me things, and if people don't like it, your problem. Solve it. I don't solve your
Mhm.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
congratulations on getting married in 2 months. And I think you should do whatever the heck you and your future spouse would like to do, and just enjoy your day together and do the things that make you guys happy.
We will
And
for sure.
yeah, and
Mhm.
otherwise, I mean, just to tell you, I feel like you're a person, you've never met a stranger, like every person that you meet, you're immediately like, you're just this warm presence. You know exactly like what to say to people. Like when we met that time in Erpent, you said like things to me that I really needed to hear in that moment, and it was amazing. And I know you've been doing that for other people as well. So
Mhm.
just like continue to be you, like don't stray from this path. I wouldn't
Thank
I
you so
wouldn't if I
much.
were you.
Thank you so much. I think I could tell you what you needed because I was in the same position like
Mhm.
you were. And like my fiance, he is still sometimes surprised. I don't know why or how I can read many people. So I feel like I think I feel what they need, and sometimes I talk too much, but I just want them to be okay with the way they feel. You don't have to behave the way people you think people expect. It's sometimes it's best to cry, sometimes it's best to laugh, sometimes it's best to be quiet, but you have to decide what you think is best. And when I feel that people try to be strong, but it's the wrong thing, I just tell them you have options. It doesn't mean
Mhm.
that what I think is wrong for you, but just to make sure it's okay. It's okay when you struggle. Everyone struggles, and I think if we show that we struggle, maybe people who think they can't show might show at some point too, and that helps because when you struggle, you don't need energy to hide. That's so stupid. You don't have energy. You need the energy for the fight you have to go through. And then you don't have to use this energy for other people who wouldn't even appreciate, you know?
Mm.
Yes. I would love to hear how the World Series was for you, because we've spent so much time talking about the unicorns and sort of your mentality, but what was it like for you to be at the World Series and get to compete and see some other folks?
It was a blast. It was like, I didn't want to have too high expectations because I didn't want to be surprised, but it was like a blast throughout. I liked most of the puzzles. I liked the way that you had these 6 challenges. So if any challenge didn't go as planned, you have a white sheet 2 hours later, and you can retry again. And I really, really liked that. The other thing I thought about on the second puzzle when I forget to look at the box quite often. So on the second puzzle, I just forgot about the box. So I was struggling, and I was like, you can't give up on this puzzle because every second counts. Because at some point at qualifications, normally I would qualify for finals, right? So if I don't like the puzzle or I struggle, it's like kind of giving up. It's okay to step back with the speed. You will still qualify, but that's not something you can do at World Series because seconds count. And I was like, that was in my head on the second challenge. And then I was like, what if I suck at the round puzzle? What if I struggle with the panorama? And then I was like, no, block it. It's tomorrow. And yeah, let's see what happens. But the good thing was I had no expectations about my ranking. I just wanted to have good times. And at the moment, I'm very fast. So everything above 45 minutes would have been like slow for me or felt slow. So I had the perfect first day. Whenever I looked at the clock, I was like, woo, so nice. And I never checked the ranking. And then at dinner, everyone was like, which rank are you? Which rank are you? And I never checked the ranking. So I was sitting on Friday night at midnight. I was sitting on my phone and checking the ranking. And I was like, okay, because I was secretly hoping for top 50, but was like, okay, everything has to go perfectly to be in top 50. And I think I was 32nd on Friday night, something like that. So I was like, okay, I'm on track, but the second day will be harder. And then again, the unboxed, I did mistakes. I had a totally different picture in my head for the first 30 minutes, and I couldn't get rid of this picture. So in my head, I was puzzling a portrait, hot air balloon puzzle. And that's what I did the first 30 minutes. With the different shades of sky, you know, dark blue sky, light blue sky. And then when I built this house, and this house, the purple house didn't fit because I expected it on the bottom of the puzzle because it was hot air balloons, right? And I never found the second half of my balloons. You know, the swim ring was the umbrella was one part, and also this red chair was in my head. It was a balloon, and I just couldn't get rid of this picture. And then when I had this not a portrait puzzle, like I finished the edge at some point, I was like, you're so stupid. And then I knew what to do, and then I sped up, but then I already lost time. Yeah, so the start wasn't good, and then the circle, I don't know, wanted to be last, maybe, I don't know. I just did everything wrong what I could do wrong. And then I was like, just get through this panorama. And I just thought, I'm so happy that we didn't get any flowers the whole weekend. So I was still happy.
Flowers, no fur, no fish.
Yeah.
Yes.
None
No
of the
Frida
Fs.
Kahlo.
Yeah, none of the terrible Fs.
Yeah, so it was perfect. And I think we had the right people on top. It wasn't clear till the very last challenge, which I really liked. We had different winners. It was just I can't, like, you have always some little things, but for me, repeated every weekend, and I would be happy as hell.
Yeah, that's great. And I know that the panorama was a lot of people's least favorite puzzle, but that was the one that you placed the best on with the as far as like ranking goes. But
Yes. Yeah, but feeling wise, nope. Yeah, for me, feeling is more important than ranking. As I said, I'm happy that I could finish it, and I had plenty of time left. Like I finished at 1:16, I think, so I had plenty of time rest. But I felt also bad when, like 10 minutes later, I was looking into the room and still everyone was puzzling. So I started to feel bad for the people, because the problem is, like, I have a positive thing that I finished. I mean, I had the best ranking, which I actually only discovered yesterday, or the day before yesterday. But I had a good feeling overall because I could finish it. I didn't like the puzzle, but I could fight through it. But there were, like, most of the people had this negative last feeling. And that's a big pity for me, and I really hope people can overcome it and have joy with the monster puzzle, because that's, for me, that would, like, it was a big surprise, and I think it helps for people to have this positive feedback at the end of this weekend.
Absolutely. Did you
Yeah.
have a favorite moment during the World Series?
One. Actually, when I came back to the second challenge, like, I knew I always have the same table neighbor, right? I knew it. But like when I came back, the same person was sitting there and she was already smiling at me. It was Vrefna from Iceland. And then I realized, oh yeah, it's the same person again, and we will have a blast. And we were talking all the time, we were joking all the time. So that was, like, I knew it, but I realized it when I came back for the second challenge, that this girl is always beside me and she's pushing me. And she was faster at the circle puzzle, so I was also proud on her that she could beat me. So that was, like, if I have to choose one favorite moment, it would be this. But there is so many. When, like, my sister almost finished every puzzle, for example. People who really wanted to collect cards with everyone, like seeing people outside talking to each other because of these cards was so nice. I mean, Victor was talking to literally everyone. He was like, do you have your card already? Can I have, like, he was so into it. And like, we are talking about Victor, you know, when you are new to speed puzzling and there's Victor who talks to you, that's something special, you know. And I think he doesn't really realize that. But it was so easy to just go to him and talk to him, because if you, like, I had this also, you have this like star crush and you want to talk to this person but you don't know what to talk about. You can't say, oh, congratulations, you won, because, like, that's something that everyone says. So what's the next sentence, you know? And with these cards, you could just go there and ask him something about the cards. And not only him, but like all these let's call them superstars, you know, the ones you see on screen, and then all of a sudden they are standing in front of you and you could talk to them, but you don't know how. Yeah, that's also something I really liked.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think those are really good final words for you today, Annemie. We have to let you go because Nina is also still
Yes.
waiting for us to talk to her, and then we're gonna see if we can clear the room or if we have to count a few pieces at the end. Yeah,
Almost.
it's about
Yeah,
50,
Fluffy
just
doesn't
under
want to
50
say
minutes.
goodbye. I'm sorry. Goodbye and good luck to everyone. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah, I have to be really careful that I don't hang up the Google Meets, because every time I say bye to someone, I have the tendency to like go on the like click on the hang up button, because that's what I normally do when I say goodbye to people. Okay,
Not
so
yet. Not yet.
we have almost cleared the room. We can see everyone who's puzzling right now. So there's 5 people: Heike, Bernhard, Laura. Neve actually looks like she has finished, and then Lynn. Yes, Neve, congratulations.
Yes.
All right, Nina, turn on your camera. Hi.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
How are you doing, Nina? I don't think we met at the World Series, have we?
No, we didn't. Yes, I didn't quite talk to a lot of people, like the ones who are more known speed puzzlers. But I did meet quite a few other people. So yeah.
Was the World Series one of your first bigger events, or have you been to other events before?
No, it was my first one. I did go to two national events, but in Slovenia they're not that big. So yeah, this was my first one, and it was really great. I had an awesome time.
What was it like for you to go to this as your first major event? Did you have any expectations going into it, or did you go in just to see what it was like?
I actually went with no pressure. I just wanted to be around people who love what I love, and I just wanted to complete every challenge in the time that was given. I didn't do that, but yeah, but I beat my table number. That was one of my accomplishments. Yeah, I wanted to do that, and I did.
Nice.
Awesome. Did you get to spend a lot of time meeting new people? I know it's kind of like there were two different things going on. There was the competition where people were getting to compete, but there was also a social aspect where you could talk to a lot of new people, and there were the trading cards and having the same table member, or that you were sitting with your table mate. Did you have any time to sort of talk to new people and hang out, or were you mostly focused on the competition?
I did talk to a lot of people, mostly with my table partner and the people that I traded cards with. That was like a really great thing to connect with other people on a more, I mean, you came to people, do you have my card or do you have this one? I can trade you this. That was really nice that they did it like that. I don't think a lot of people would connect in that way if it weren't for the cards. Yeah.
Mm. We've been asking some people, what is your favorite challenge and your least favorite challenge? Did you have a favorite and least favorite?
Yes, I did. My favorite was the repetition puzzle. I really love that sky and those buildings on the right side and the bottom. That was really nice. I just didn't like those windows on the left. That took me quite a lot of time to finish them. I was lucky, if I say it like that, that I didn't start with the windows, because I know some people after doing the sky, they went right on the windows and they lost a lot of time because they got stuck there. I just left that for the end. I knew it was gonna be hard, but I managed. My least favorite was the panorama one. I really love the image, but that was it was really a hard puzzle. When I flipped all the pieces, took the edges out, put the edge together, and then I looked at those pieces and I didn't know where to start because everything looked the same. And then I saw, yeah, there's these ribbons down there, so that was the first thing I did. And then, yeah, I went along, tried to complete it, but didn't. But yeah, I'm gonna do it at home at one point when I have the time.
Yeah, that one was really tricky. I think a lot of people struggled with the panorama, but Were those the two puzzles that you expected to like the most and dislike the most going into it, or were you surprised that you liked the repetition the best?
Oh, I thought the gradient one was gonna be my favorite because, like a lot of people, I love gradients. But at the start of doing that gradient, I was lost. I don't know. Maybe I was not in that competition mode yet or something. So I was kind of skipping from one part to the other. I started with the blues, then I went to the sun, then I went up on the purples. I just, yeah, I thought that was gonna be my best. And I thought the round puzzle was gonna be my worst or the most not great, no. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because there are a lot of the rounds were meant to test certain puzzle skills, but I think also depending on where they were placed during the day, you also have to sort of make sure that you were mentally checked in, whether you were tired after doing 2 puzzles earlier that day, or whether it was the first puzzle of the day, and so there were some nerves. So it also sort of was testing your mental state at the time too.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah. I noticed that the more the day went by, the more better I became at puzzling. So yeah, I just needed that little push at the start, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah, I also, for me it was also like you said before, I also thought gradient would be the one that I would like the best because I really enjoy gradients, and then it ended up not being. I mean, I still like the puzzle, but it ended up not being my favorite because of the like surprise that some of the puzzles were. How did you get on with the mystery puzzle? Are you someone that has practiced a lot of mystery puzzles before?
Oh, I didn't practice those at all. I just did the I just did the one from the EJJ, those fish that were an unreleased puzzle. That was my one and only. Or oh no. At the day that we had the unboxed one, I had the 200-piece puzzle that my friend gave to me. So that was my second one. But yeah, not a 500 one, but yeah. But I still did great. For me, I did great. I think I competed in 1 hour and 3 minutes, something. So yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Are you someone who looks a lot at the box when they puzzle, or not so much? Because that
Not so
also
much.
makes a yeah. Because
Yeah.
people who are not looking at the box anyways as much, I feel like do better at mystery puzzles because it's more intuitive for them to just, not look up. And people who refer a lot to the box, it was a big difference.
Yeah, when we were puzzling, I kind of, if you can say, cheated because I looked at my partner's table and he had the whole sky done and that house that was there, and I looked at it like, yeah, that I can do that. Like, go there. I mean, yeah.
We were wondering if that might happen because you're sitting at a table with somebody else and people can do different things at different times. So it's definitely something where you could sort of look over. There was also a question to the organizers, and I don't think they had thought about this beforehand, where if you had headphones in and you were listening to the live stream, and maybe you could hear what the announcers are talking about as they figure things out too. And so you can say, oh, there's a pond and there's capybaras. Maybe I'll look for that.
Bernard just put in the last piece. Congratulations. Yeah, I felt a little bit like, of course, when you're puzzling and you have people puzzling next to you, it's not like you want to look, but it's kind of inevitable to look at your neighbor's table every once in a while, even just like a glance. And the glance can tell you something. And for me, it felt like I was cheating, even though I know, obviously, I wasn't cheating, but just knowing that there's something there that you didn't even think was there because you don't know what's on the puzzle. You just see colors and you see pieces. It does give you an advantage if the other person is doing something that you are not doing. So in that sense, yeah, whoever is like the fastest person in this puzzle has a disadvantage, kind of, because they don't have anyone to look at.
Yeah, yeah. Or depending on how you do the puzzle, right? Was one streamer from the United States who could show both people at her table, and they almost always did the puzzles in opposite orders. They never started on the same part of the image, which was such a cool way to see how different people were tackling puzzles in different ways based on their strengths.
Yeah. Okay, we have about like 2 minutes to go, so I would like to invite Michelle in just so that when it's time she can do the countdown, and just to tell Laura that you have two minutes. 2 minutes. You can do it.
Go!
No.
You're so
Put it
close.
Put in as many pieces as you can. There's not that many left.
Laura's like, I'm going as fast as I can.
The chat is rooting for you, Laura.
Love
Yeah,
to see it.
Michelle, what was it like for you to watch the World Series at home, like the first day, and how did you feel? Like, did the atmosphere get transferred to your
Yeah, I
home or no?
was having major FOMO. Like, oh, it just sounded like such a great experience, and I could just see like all the photos on Instagram, and I could just hear the buzz that was being transferred from Jim and Fuji. Like, you could get the atmosphere at home, and so I was feeling very left out. But I'm just happy for everyone that they had that opportunity, and that such a thing exists. That this is showing us another way of how you can run a competition. So it was, I'm just happy for everyone, and I hope that if it's in Europe again next year, then maybe I'll be able to make it. So we have 40 seconds left. And I just want to point out, if you hadn't noticed, that Laura has been sitting on a bed or on a couch for almost 2 hours. I'm sure she's probably got ready to stretch it out as soon as possible, but that is amazing. I mean, first of all, as you said, Catherine, that's a really small space to puzzle on, and I'm not even sure what type of surface that is, if it's like a vinyl surface or plastic, but she's doing really amazing there. And also so close. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Oh, well done.
Congratulations.
Good job.
So close.
That's 2 hours of puzzling in less than ideal, with a less than ideal table.
Well done, Laura. Yeah, I mean, this is like a challenge within a challenge, just to do it on this board that she has there. So yeah.
Laura, I know you've got to count your pieces, but if you have time to hop in the chat, I would love to know why you decided to do a puzzle in this way. It looks so much more of a challenge. Well done. Great job.
Last question, Nina. If you were to, now that you know all the challenges, would you have put them in a different order if you could choose for your own personal preference?
I don't think I would, because for me, it kind of went from the one I would do the best to one I would do the worst, I guess. Like, as the challenges went, the more slower I was or something. I don't think I would change the
order of them.
How they were. Yeah.
What about you, Catherine?
Yeah, I would definitely not have the panorama last. I don't know where I would put it, for the only reason that I would want to finish with a high, so that everyone is in a good mood when it's time for the prize giving, and you kind of end the competition on a high note. So maybe do the mystery puzzle at the end, like a little surprise. But I don't know where I would put the panorama, or where I would put a difficult puzzle. Maybe at the end of day one. I don't know, so that you make people a little bit nervous for the second day, but then they come and then it like goes so well and you end on like a fun puzzle. But you know, that's something that I personally would prefer. However, if I was the organizer of the event, I would want to put them in an order where the last puzzle could theoretically still make, change whoever comes first. So in that sense, it was maybe good to have a difficult puzzle last, just because then it solidified kind of the position.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
I think if you had perhaps an easy one that people are going to keep like a similar placement to the previous ones, it would not have been such a surprise or such a dramatic ending. So perhaps that's one of the reasons to put it there, that it's really going to be one that shifts up the leaderboard, or you just don't know who's gonna get there in the end. But yeah, anyways, that was our competition. Thank you for this fun evening, and yeah, all the chats and reflections about the World Series is definitely a lot of special memories. And yeah, I just love hearing all these insights, like these little things that go on behind the scenes, and the social gatherings and the trading cards. Yeah, and thank you, Nina, for joining us for a chat, and Hannah and Catherine for running the live stream today. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we thank everyone who's been watching as well and participating. And oh, Sarah says it was her first ever EJJ and she had so much fun. Love it. Thank you.
Yay.
Come back for
Good
more.
job.
All right, we have our next live stream is on Tuesday. It's going to be an unreleased puzzle. So actually, Hannah, you're coming back for that. You'll be joined by Daniela.
Ooh, exciting.
Can't keep me away.
Yeah.
Double header.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.